Good morning, Venice, Englewood, and Northport. This is Francesco Abbruzzino with the Venice Scoop. Today is the 31st of December, New Year's Eve, and we're here with the news. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's get started with recognizing our sponsor of this program. It's Island Photographics, Inc., and they are located at 101 Venice Avenue. Suite number 10, their number is 941-485-0699. As you can see from their Facebook pages, they do a lot of photos, art duplication, PowerPoint presentations. They have a recording studio, video production. I saw one of their videos of a young artist, Debbie Hood, I think it was, and I put it on the Venice page at one point. So give them a call, and for any of your photographic needs. And again, that number is 941-485-0699. And that's it. So let's get started with the news. Wendy Rose, with the media, she's a media representative for the sheriff's office, reached out to me and sent me this communication, which I posted on the wall, basically stating that through investigative measures, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office has definitively concluded no abduction took place in the Venice East neighborhood. So that's a good thing. And this falls on the heels of this article by the Herald-Tribune, which I also stated yesterday in the broadcast, basically about the confusion with their phone alert system that they sent out. And I think on yesterday's broadcast I put out the actual recording where they said, hey, a child's missing, and they gave the details. That startled a lot of people, in addition to something I don't think this Herald article mentioned, is the fact that when individuals were calling the sheriff's office to see what was going on, they were saying, well, it's a child's abduction. So two issues. Hopefully Wendy and Tom Knight will look at what the issue is behind that and get it resolved, so that if this ever happens in the future, it won't create such a hysteria as this one did. You had people wanting to round up others and go out there. This article, this just came out. It's on the SSO. They assumed partial dispatch services for the city of Venice, and basically if you call in the VPD from 11 to 7, it's going to be routed over to the sheriff's office location. City residents should continue to call 911 in emergencies, and for all other calls, non-emergency calls, they should call 486-2444. And it's supposed to be a seamless transition. You'll call them and it'll be handled just like as though we're being called into the VPT dispatch. There's supposed to be more efficiencies, and we're not supposed to lose any time in terms of getting the communication out to the VPD and having them on the location. All right, next is the I put this out. It's the Florida on track to surpass New York for population. And I think I said yesterday, hey, if the congestion on Venice Avenue as I was going to the jetty is any indication of what we're going to deal with, I'm not a huge fan of it. Somebody, I think it was Ed Cochran, he's pretty active with the city council and doing different things. He came out and said, well, the city's maximized out, so it's not really population growth in the city, it's in the outskirts, which is true. However, those outskirts tend to come into the city, which is causing the congestion we're getting, or they drive through the city on their way up to Sarasota. So I put that article out there. It was of interest. I hope, just from seeing what I'm seeing now with the season, and we're not even at peak, it's going to be horrifying, I think. This one, a man gets text from wife as she's vandalizing his home. I put it up there even though you can't read the Herald, because sometimes I hope we get the gist of it from the subject line and then the pictures and then the brief 2 sentences they put out. I'm not a subscriber, as you can see, so I'm not sure of the specifics. I think somebody came on that knows these people and said that that was a different story. Okay, so that's the Gondo story on that one. This one, Nokomis woman arrested in Maine airport. This was from the Herald, and people that are familiar with this individual or the situation came on and said that there was a lot of inaccuracies with this story. They didn't specify the inaccuracies, but apparently this lady, she was throwing things and shouting obscenities over a delayed flight in Maine, and she's facing charges, and she's a Janet Denardi out of Nokomis. Tonight is New Year's Eve, and there's going to be a lot of people out there drinking. Just a reminder that you have Florida Tow to Go. Just call 1-855-2-TOW-TO-GO or 286-9246. And that's a great program. AAA and Bud Light put it out there to try to prevent any accidents. You don't want to get arrested for DUI, trust me. All right, next thing. Government closings. This is in Venice, Northport, everywhere. Basically, the county and the libraries will be closing at 5 tonight. There will be no bus or trolley service on New Year's Day. And they just break down all the schedule for the county. So I put that on all the Scoop pages. Check it out. And it breaks down your garbage pickups also. This is just a fender bender, just in a reminder. This was south on the south side of the Circus Bridge. Remember to drive safe. This is a little hazardous, this spot. It's where you make a left onto that little roundabout that leads to Center Road. Not a roundabout, but a little annex road. And people tend to try to drive across really quick, and then the people that are coming north on Tamiami tend to speed up for some oddball reason to put the scare into the guy that's trying to turn. And this looks like one of those situations where it didn't work out for either of them. So try to drive careful out there. The roads are much more congested. Okay, this one we're going to go into is the Sarasota County Parks and Deer Prairie Creek. So let's go ahead and just take a listen to it and see what we think.
Welcome to Deer Prairie Creek Preserve, a beautiful 6,400-acre site located just east of Venice. The north entrance can accommodate large horse trailers and vehicles. Here you will also find an informational kiosk. Strategically placed picnic shelters and tables are here for you to enjoy the views, fresh air, and peace and quiet. Historic landmarks remind us of our cattle ranching and citrus growing heritage. The preserve is owned and managed by Sarasota County and the Southwest Florida Water Management District. You can meander through more than 70 miles of trails that are shared with hikers, bicyclists, picnickers, equestrian riders, and paddlers. The wild and scenic Myakka River and Deer Prairie Creek both provide a perfect backdrop for your visit. A variety of wildlife species, including wading birds, otters, and alligators, use the waterways and other native habitats like pine flatwoods, hammocks, and wetlands. Trails are maintained for hikers and bicyclists. There are also 2 designated equestrian trails with a horse watering station. At the south entrance, a shell road leads to a parking area, passing several trailheads and historic cattle.
That looks like a nice park. I've never even heard of it or seen it, and I've been here since '82. So check it out. The video is on the Venice Scoop if you want to see it all in its entirety. There's another minute left in it. Just thought I'd put it out there in case others weren't aware of the location, as am I. This next story, this individual goes to Pineview. I don't know I think she's a Sarasota resident, but I always cover anything related to Pineview. She graduated, and she's trying to deliver a low-cost water filter solution to Nicaragua. So nice thing there. I think I've posted something about her before, and she's doing some good things. The Pineview graduate. This one, it says 2 Charlotte County fishermen cited for commercial netting. It's actually out of Englewood. Englewood, as many of you may or may not know, it sits on the border of Sarasota and Charlotte County. And these 2 guys, I guess, went out and they were doing commercial netting in an area over by Coral Creek where commercial fishing is excluded. This was on Monday, and it was Zachary Tooker and Clifford Brody. So they're facing some charges of illegal commercial netting. Not sure what kind of charges they'll face, but they were cited. All right, this next story. This is Northport. Northport High School lost last night to Cuffington Catholic. They outscored the Bobcats 29-8 in the fourth quarter to take the 65-43 victory at the Suncoast Holiday Classic at Riverview High. This is a nice one. It's a Warm Mineral Springs day spa. They had a visual last night, and they put out some pictures of the visual. This was from the Northport Sun. There was, I think they said about 30 people out there, and they're trying to get the Warm Mineral Springs to open back up. I last I heard there was going to be a temporary opening, but then everybody went on vacation for the holidays, and I'm not sure where it stands right now. I believe the county agreed to the terms that the city set out on the temporary opening until they can get a full-time system in place. We're going to play this video. This is a Northport track star. She's been chosen to compete in Australia. Excuse me. Let's check out this video. It's about a minute long, minute and 46 seconds.
Well, a Northport student athlete has a chance to travel down under for her sport and bring some good representation to the Sun Coast. SNN local news reporter Kelsey Kern has her story.
A 16-year-old Northport high school student has a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to represent Northport and Florida in a track and field meet more than 10,000 miles away. Jasmine Banks was selected as one of 300 American high schoolers to participate in the 2014 Down Under Sports Games, based on her accomplishments on and off the track.
I feel like I didn't do as good as I should have last year, and like I did work hard, but I feel like I could have done a lot better. And for me to get that accomplishment, like I was pretty happy for myself, and I was proud, like to be able to be chosen to represent like Northport and Florida. And
Banks is competing in 4 events: 100-meter hurdles, 300-meter hurdles, triple jump, and shot put. Shot put is Jasmine's best event. She can take this 8-pound ball and throw it 34.8 feet. That's the distance from me to this hurdle.
And it's rare to find all that in one athlete. It takes a lot of talent, a lot of discipline, and obviously a lot of work. She has to practice more and harder than other kids who can come out and do one event, practice for one event.
Beyond training and schoolwork, she has to raise $5,000 to get to Australia to compete.
It's a lot, but I really want to go, so I'm going to try really hard.
The trip down under will be expensive, but Banks hopes her school and community will help her raise the money so she can compete. Reporting in Northport, I'm Kelsey Kern, SNN Local News.
Now, if you'd like to help Jasmine reach her goal to compete in Australia, visit GoFundMe.
Okay, so how about that? If you would like to fund Jasmine, you can go to the GoFundMe.com address that they put up there to fund her trip to Australia. Kudos to Jasmine for doing such a great job out there on the track. That's basically it for the news. Now the weather. As you can see, it's pretty cloudy out. It's cold. The high is going to be 73. They say partly sunny. Tomorrow 72, a high of 59. A front's coming through around Thursday. It's going to drop down to 69 on Friday when we should have some more waves. Right now they're saying the winds are out of the south with 2 to 3 foot chop. It's basically flat. I think the waves are heading east, southeast, or something like that. So that's your forecast for the next few days by John Scalzi. Okay, so that's the end of the scheduled newscast. Just remember a couple of things. Remember my sponsor, IslandPhotographicsInc.com at 485-0699. The other thing I'd like you to remember is that tow to go. Don't drink and drive. If you don't want to do the tow and go, have a designated driver that's hanging out with you. That's it. Everybody have a safe New Year's Eve, and we'll see you next year. For Francesco Abbruzzino, this is the Venice Scoop. Ciao tutti.